second leg of the A final here at the 1/8 Electric, the E-Buggy European Champions. It's a very sedate start. Everyone making sure they get round clean, because you can lose so much in the first lap and you can't win that much. Any accidents here and you're going to fall to the back. Sartell and Ronefalk and Musso and Ongaro and Canas all cleared the first few corners safely. No real problems. It's Savoy again who's the big loser, and he's dropped to the back of the field. So 1, 2, 3, 4 all drop off the end of the bridge and complete their first lap in line astern form, equidistant, a couple of tenths behind. There's a little bit of an understeer there for Ronefalk because he came underneath us, and that just threw him slightly back into Musso's But at the end of it, again, you've really got to be so careful in these first 3 or 4 laps that you don't make a mistake on the sector 2, because you'll just be overtaken by everybody. Whilst the amount of time you'll lose will be the same whenever in the race you make the mistake, it's significantly more serious. You make it early on because you'll lose so many places. Now, eventually, Sartell again has got away quite nicely, and now Musso is worrying Ronefalk. So let's be on the second and third, which is Musso and Ronefalk having a worrying. In fact, Musso, where's Ronefalk gone? We've lost Ronefalk. Ronefalk's had a massive problem and dropped to the end of the... Ronefalk's in last. So Ronefalk's had a huge problem and dropped to last, and probably is going to kiss goodbye to his Euro. And the second and third have crashed. This has been given to Sartell. Second and third have had an accident. Sartell is being awarded this championship because no one else is putting a challenge in this second heat. Something's happened to Ronefalk. He's lost a huge amount of time at the end of that second lap. And then second and third, which was Ongaro and Musso, crash, and now Canas is in second. And the lead that Sartell has after just a minute and 45 seconds is 4 seconds, and he's been. They are handing the European Championship to him, the other drivers. So Canas leads. Sorry, he's in second place, and on camera from Musso, from Ongaro, but the challenge from the rest of the pack disappeared in a lap. Still no idea what happened to Ronefalk, but he is running down in 10th. Of the 13 for no discernible reason. I think he may have even got crashed underneath the bridge, but he was off camera, couldn't see what happened. Canas, Ongaro and Musso go down the back straight. There they are, Musso in third. But the major news is, hang on, Ongaro's now been scored as not in the race. I think Ongaro may have a transponder issue. This is going to be complicated later on. That's because it's not Ongaro. Okay, I've been calling it Ongaro, but it's the 8 car of Boots. So Ongaro's out. Ongaro's out, as has gone out. Ronefalk broken down. So we've lost Ongaro. Ronefalk's broken down. So we've now got a chasing pack for Sartell of Canas, Musso and Boots. Sartell is turning the fastest laps and is leading by several hours. 4 seconds, 4.3 seconds. It's really now down to him to lose. So interestingly, we've lost both Ongaro, who's stopped, and Ronefalk, who made a big mistake. And the net effect is that second, third and fourth are really handing this to the local driver, who, being local, doesn't change the fact that he fully deserves to be where he is. But Canas and Musso are fighting it out. We've already reached the point where if we don't see an accident from Jean-Pierre Sartell, they're not going to gain on. They're not going to gain in pure lap speed. That time round, Sartell 32.7, 32.8 for Canas, 32.2 for Musso. But Musso gets to the inside. Musso's got Canas. That gives him a little bit of a chance, sweeping up the inside of the boardwalk into second place. But even so, he's so far behind, and it's pretty obvious that Jean-Pierre Sartell is sensible enough to drive within himself. Sartell now has finished the lap, and Musso has finished lap now. So the gap, 32.2, 32.8, and the gap is creeping up to... No, he's still just on 4 seconds. It was bigger than before. So Sartell is looking down the barrel of an... he got away with it. Sartell did make a mistake. He rolled, but he landed back, wheels down. So Sartell, a mistake off camera, but not enough to... give anything more than a minor encouragement to Musso, who hasn't really managed to pull away from Canas. And that time round, as you see, even despite that error, it was only a 6/10 of a second gain by Musso. So if you can make a mistake, let's watch this one again. I think maybe and that's the overtake. Nice Musso, nice little block pass, a little bit of wheel contact, that's fine. So good work there from Thomas to get past Canas. But they have a bigger problem in the fact that the leader of this race, with just over halfway down, was given he's the fastest guy in qualifying. They gifted him a massive lead. And with that much space, you can relax. The chance of tightening up and feeling nervous is going to disappear. And Jean-Pierre Sartell is looking like he's going to wrap up the championship before lunchtime, which nobody wants. Even when that's nothing to do with us, but Jean-Pierre Sartell. So the Musso car lifting a wheel and comes round, and he gained, well, it was a good gain that time. He gained 1.3 seconds that lap. I didn't really see a major issue with Sartell. So is Sartell tightening up? Are we going to get a bit of action? Sartell beautifully over the 6-2. I was watching him coming towards me, and whilst yes, he possibly is just easing it back because he doesn't need to race. Musso gaining a little bit, 3:40 to go. This 10 minutes does give us enough time for some tactics to play out, but Sartell that time round 32.5, 32 flat, so Musso picked another half-second up. I think we could get a grandstand finish at least, even if we don't get an overtake. You'll be seeing Sartell coming through your bottom of your screen. He's just not on the same frame. He'll be on the same frame in a second. Look in there, you'll see him as he pops around. But don't think there'll be any particular gain this time round. Musso, of course, was quick early on. He was the fastest in the first rounds. It's not like a bolt from the blue as the Monegasque driver looks to try and get on terms with Jean-Pierre Sartell. Did a 32.3 that time, goes to 31.8, so no, 32.3 both of them. Both did 32.3, so no gain either way there for either Musso or Sartell. Let's just move to Sartell. Look at the leader for a couple of laps. He's got to see whether he's going to tighten up, knowing he could become a European champion, or whether it's all going to be easy for him. He's up and down on the Model Tune Mountain. We've got 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go. His lead's not massive anymore. His lead is just under 2 seconds. Added complication going to come up soon. A bit of back markerage. 32.2 that time round. 32. So Musso lost some time that time. So it's all looking more complicated for Musso now. He's back in the city. He had a lovely couple of games. He's looking at the point now. I think Jean-Pierre relaxed too much, and because of that, he lost him, and he realised he'd be a hurry up again when he saw Musso in the back of his peripheral vision. As we come to 2 minutes to go, 8 minutes down. Still now, with a gap of only 2 seconds, he had 6 earlier, so with a gap of 2 seconds, it's down to 1 error rather than several errors. 32.5, 32.4, tenth of a second gain for Musso, but we are in a situation with the car we're with. Jean-Pierre Sartell needs to make a mistake of some sort if he's going to lose this. And Musso makes a half mistake, so it's not worked out well for Musso. And he's got a car crash in front, managed to avoid. So it's been a good lap for Sartell. He's picked up another half second, I would say, as he sweeps around the hairpin. He's now, 2.5 hours. He'll get 3 laps he'll get in. So he's got 3 laps to go. Huge amount of traffic up ahead of him. But a comfortable lead after gaining another 9 tenths in that one. So Sartell, it is a situation now where the only person who can beat Sartell is Sartell. Up ahead of him there are 3 cars, including Ronefalk, who's going to get lapped in this one, which is a bit strange. Really not worked for a couple of the drivers in this particular race. Last minute, so 2 laps when they finish this one. There'll be this one and 2 more. There's a lot of scruffling going around there. And that lap round for Sartell, 32.2, 33.1, 32.9, 33.1. So the problem they've got now really is whether Sartell can get through these 3 drivers. They'll be asked to move out the way for Sartell. They hop around, the first one's out the way. Musso really now fading off the back of Sartell. We watch him hopping through the corner, looking to make it 2 out of 2. The battle with it, which we hope to have, disappeared after basically a lap and a half. And Sartell drives round now onto his last lap. He's now a few corners off becoming Europe. In fact, he doesn't need to overtake these guys because Musso's dropped off so much. He doesn't need to overtake anybody here. He just needs to keep it on the island. One more jump. That's really most important. Jean-Peric now has just got what has been a relatively easy section to stay on the wheels, and he's going to win this in 2. He's got one right-hand turn, and it drops down, and Jean-Peric Sartell becomes your European champion. Well done, great stuff for him. I wouldn't. Apparently, he's English isn't very good enough, so I won't talk to him because it's not his point. Because it's always a bit embarrassing.